Welcome back to the world of trucks from the Masters Ultimate Auto Expo, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now, here's Bill Stevens.
These trucks, such size, such power, like this one right here. Take a look at it closely. Look at this big brush bar in the front, seemingly there to push life out of the way for wherever this driver wants to go. And the wheels, big, aggressive tires and heavy-duty suspensions that can literally drive over anything at all that gets in the way of this driver who knows where he's headed in life. And look at the mural on the side. I mean, you can almost picture that somewhere in those woods there are hunters with their rifles, standing by waiting for their quarry to come into their sights. The trucks that we see at events like this are huge. They're sizable. They have power. They have bearing. So it's not hard to imagine that the driver of this truck plays golf.
You know, a lot of us have trucks. We either use them to drive because we love them, or we use them as tow vehicles. And a lot of them are diesels. And the crazy thing is, diesel used to be cheaper than regular gas, but not anymore, so you gotta watch it. A lot of products on the market will help you improve horsepower, torque, performance, and mileage, but how do you really know you're getting the benefit? Well, the dynamometer is the answer. And if you've never seen one, you've been at a show probably where they're there, you definitely got to take them up on the offer because it's definitely worth it. For only $35, you get 2 pulls here to see maybe a baseline of where your horsepower and torque curves are. And then what you can do, you can go and add an aftermarket product, come back a little bit later and measure your gains. The dynamometer, the mobile ones are awesome stuff here. Now these are transported from event to event. It's an eddy current dynamometer. Some work with water, some work with other methods, but basically there's a big motor here that has no power. Well, when you run the engine, rather the motor, with the power delivered by the drive wheels of your vehicle, well then power is fed in. Just enough to resist, to get a little resistance behind the drive line, and then you can actually measure and calculate exactly how much horsepower and torque you got. Now, torque is the magic thing with diesels. Remember, big pistons, short stroke, and that's what you need for pulling power. So, what I want to do here, why don't we fire this big bad boy up, this 99 Ford here, and then why don't we just see exactly how much power it's got. All right, Scott Mansfield from Sudden Performance just finished up run number 1. Okay, so the printer is going to give us a readout of exactly what we saw. Now, on the bottom graph here, we're going to see the miles per hour, and then the green line up on top, that's going to be the torque. Remember, the diesels make more torque than horsepower. The blue line represents horsepower. So here are our maximum numbers. The horsepower, 269.1, that happened at 70 miles an hour, and then the maximum torque was 763.7 foot-pounds of torque, that happened at 58 miles an hour. So now we know the baseline, now we know where we stand. Let's go ahead and make a couple of software changes with a little black box magic, and then we'll see where we are. All right, last time a whole lot of smoke, Scott. That's not what really matters. What matters is the power. Before we get into the numbers here, how popular is it for people to come on by and get their trucks run on the dyno?
Everybody wants to see what they improve every time they do an upgrade on their motor or the diesel truck and all their old cars, muscle cars and everything like that. They want to see what they gain from doing rear end changes, transmissions, to a cam change, anything that you can add to a car to soup it up.
All right, awesome stuff. And we made some software changes here. This is our first graph. Let's go ahead and stack it up. What do we got, Scott?
We have here on the first run, we had 269.1 at 70 miles per hour. On the second run, we got 281.7 of 12 horsepower gain at a faster speed at 50 miles per hour.
So in other words, we gained 12 horsepower. Again, horsepower, not a big deal for a diesel, but we got it 20 miles per hour faster at a more reasonable cruising speed.
Exactly. Also, you can see on this graph versus this graph, it's a whole lot smoother. The torque on the second graph was 960 at 47 miles per hour versus 763 at 58 miles per hour on the first. After we installed the Edge Evolution product on there, it made it a whole lot smoother versus this right here.
I'll tell you, you know what? This happens at a more reasonable, usable speed. Not a lot of time, not a lot of money, not a lot of effort. Big benefit. And you know what? If you see the mobile dyno, get in line because this is one hot tool.
Stay with us when we come back. More great-looking trucks from Knoxville.